Boom. Now we got audio. This is what I'm talking about. So I have not changed anything in on my computer. Now I got audio. I haven't changed anything on my computer since last week. No updates, no nothing. Um, and somehow the settings of the defaults have all changed. You know what I mean? All week long, I've been using this on and off to talk to different people. And I go live, and for some reason, it's just decided to use the Elgato 4K Pro audio, which is the driver card. And this was what was happening to me last week, where that capture card wouldn't work because of a Windows update, which wouldn't allow my camera to work. And this week, it took over the audio instead of the soundboard here. But anyways, there's 2 minutes of silence for you. Use the go back in time and use those 2 minutes of silence to meditate. But I'm going to start off the show alone today. Broseph has been winning at life, and he is out delivering packages that sold. So he's out and about. He sold some stuff on eBay. So I'm going to start the show off solo. And I've been working on a lot of different things with Claude Code and just regular Claude chat that I've been talking about. I have it set up now so that when I go during the day, I just talk into my phone and give it notes and stuff about projects or what have you. And then when I sit down on my computer and I open up the actual terminal, the terminal will go through my transcripts, go through my projects, go through my tasks, and it creates a task sheet for me, which I'm looking at today. There's some personal stuff on here, so I don't want to share it, but so it's got a couple of different zones. Zone 1 is decisions that need to be made. So it's carryover stuff from yesterday. And the stuff yesterday that I did is I redid my Claude, what they have it called is an MD file, which is the main workflow file, and the Claude personality preferences, which is how Claude chat interacts with you. Claude.md is how the coding acts with you. I'm going to take these off until Broseph gets here. And I have an agent called Tecton that does all my system updates for me. I have multiple agents, but that's the one I communicate with when I want to change something universally. Example, whenever I made a spreadsheet, it was centered justifying everything in the column. I went into Tecton and I fixed that. And now whenever it kicks out a spreadsheet, it's all left justified. But I was using the chat. And if you use chat long enough, I don't know if this is a built-in feature or an actual bug. I wouldn't be surprised if it was some of both. Here, little ASMR. But basically what was happening is you start with an aggressive plan. You know, one of the things that I have set up as in my go-to stuff is like, I want to make $100,000 a month, right? So I'm shooting extremely high. And so the idea is small ideas, the chat will fight me back on, and it'll constantly build me up so that when I have bigger and better ideas, that's what we're constantly working on. So we do pragmatic stuff, and then we do big ideas, and we work on big projects to make big money in the free time, right? So wake up, do the pragmatic stuff to pay the bills, work on other projects that I got coming in with some other creators online. And then anytime after that stuff's done, if I try to do something small or minuscule, it fights me and says, no, you need to go up, right? But what keeps happening with ChatGPT and now with Claude, they just an update to the new language model called 4.7, is it keeps reducing me, right? So I would go in and I would say, all right, what's the plan today? I want to do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And they would give me like a little task. And I would be like, stop giving me tasks. I'm the architect. When I tell you I want to do something, it's your job to go online, get the research, and figure out a plan for us to do this. You know my knowledge and my stuff. And then it would be like, oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. And then it would do it over and over again. So I went through and I kind of fixed some stuff. And now I'm in what's like offense mode, right? So it kind of admitted that it was going into defense mode and thinking small. Now I got it in offense mode, thinking big. Hence the name of the show this week: offense mode is live. Fear is dead. Let's talk about it. Drew said, "I want my AI to transcribe Alex Jones with Professor Zhang's Candace." I don't know who that is. And so you can actually create, if you were to go to Claude Code and give it access to, I don't know how you would get the APIs, but you can create stuff that will listen to audio and pull the transcripts. You could pull tons of Alex Jones offline and create a system for yourself. I'm currently setting up something that's going to scrape my YouTube channel and pull my transcripts for me, because I want to take all those transcripts and turn them into a book. So I know the capabilities there. I'm currently downsizing and minimizing. I got a lot of Amazon FBA stuff that's come back into my house that I'm slowly selling here. It's like I have like listings for like this sunscreen hand screen from North Korea, and this, what is this? I think this is skin barrier cream. Everybody uses this. It's in South Korea on their skin, but in the United States, they consider this a baby cream for children. But in South Korea, they use it on their skin. I guess it's because they really take good care of their skin. But anyways, I was selling this and it's all been sent back to me. So I got a bunch of this in the house. I got hundreds of light bulbs. I'm downsizing. Then I'm going to go through all my old clothes and my books and electronics and really minimize whatever I can. So pragmatically, that's like I'm doing a cleanup. I got rid of my bread maker. I sold some stuff that was in storage. I want to just get things kind of small because I want to look for a house. And when I do, I want to be able to move quickly. So I've mixed in a way for the information in my transcripts to be put into calendar form, be pulled from the calendar and put into itemized what's most important, then create tasks and then mix those tasks in and read them every day. But it was starting to make really small tasks for me and give me assignments. And I was like, are they programming this to get like free workers and free advertising? Because I would ask the chat something and then very quickly it would spit something out and say, do this with this. And then I would say, well, first of all, why am I doing that when you could do that? To to Claude Chat or to Claude Code. Second, because you're supposed to automate everything. Two, why did you pick that software? Give me a list of all the softwares I can use and the priority things. And then once I do that, it's like, oh yeah, these are better. But it defaults to certain software. So I'm wondering if they're programming the AI to make you think small, and then there's already advertisings involved that are woven in, or if it's just pulling from. So I forget what it's called, but actually this might be a good business since this is a side hustle show. When The old-fashioned way that you SEO'd a website is you got it to rank in Google really high, and then you would make videos and you try to get it to rank in YouTube a little bit because that's the second biggest search engine. TikTok's like third now, whatever. But now there's a secret hiding page that you can make, and people that are smart that caught on to this early are making a lot of money. You can take your website and put a page on there that speaks AI language. So when the AI goes to scrape and look for the best websites, if that's not updated, it has to translate it. So it pushes that down because of token use and actually starts exploring the ones that do have that language. So I forget what it's called. Let me look it up. Actually, I can ask chat, Claude chat, what it is. Um, Thank you for being patient. Let's see if how it answers this. Okay, so it's called an LLMS.text, and it's a file websites put in their root domain so AI models can read their site content, and it lets you check if so it goes through and lets them check. So sites that, and maybe this would be a good business model. Let's look up an business model. This is what I do all day. So I just put in LLMS, so it's large language models. I don't know what the S stands for. Maybe it's just pluralizing it, but it's a capital dot text business model. And yeah, so I'm going to look into this right now. Let's run an analysis. We're live on air. This should be interesting. I can't pull this up because I got a lot of personal information that I utilize here, but it's running a full analysis. I asked it to run a full analysis for me on what it would be like if we started in LLMS, which is a large language model, probably system.tex, and text is just basic data. They would open up like in a notepad. And it says that an LLMS.text business model analysis, what is it? It's a markdown file placed on the root of any website. So you would basically put the website.com/LLMS.text and tell AI models like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity how to understand the site. And it's being called robots text for AI. That's the layman's term. And the opportunity, many companies do not have this in 2026, which makes them rank lower on Google SEOs. The honest reality check, it says, is only one out of 120 top performing companies in AI search have that actual thing. So there's definitely a need in the market. It's saying that they're pretty easy to generate, and as somebody that would start a agency could start making about $4,000 a month in the beginning, build it up to about $15,000 a month, and it would probably cap out around a $20,000 a month business, simply going to websites, setting it up, and doing an audit. But one thing it does say here, oh, yeah, it's probably good. I thought I sent you the link in the group chat. I was like, oh, Broseph running late. I'll just keep vamping. Word. I don't know if I don't have access to, I gave my Twitter's constant is currently being updated. How do I, All right, check your Twitter. This is what, the second time or third time I've done this to you when I'm like, man, Broseph really is running late, and I didn't send him the link out. All right, check your. You should have the link now. And then I'm being professional by not checking my phone while we're on air. Perfect. Broseph will be with us shortly now that I have not locked him out of the now that I haven't locked him out of the stream. Let's add him to stage.
Right. I think this is. Hey, is
Hello.
this working?
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of strange. I can't hear myself in my headphones. Yeah.
My settings were all changed. You might want to check your settings in the StreamYard because Drew couldn't hear me for the first 2 minutes. And because it was just me and Drew, I thought he might be trolling me. But it, for some reason, changed all my settings around.
Well, if you can hear me, then that's cool.
Yeah, I can hear me. If you can't hear yourself, you can hear me in your headset?
I can hear you, and then I just can't hear. I usually hear myself through the headset, which is, oh well. I'm good.
Yeah. All right, word.
Working.
So I named this week's show Offense Mode. Fear is Dead. Basically, this is what we were kind of talking about last week, and I kind of implemented some of it. I was telling the audience about it before you arrived. Like, couple things. Like, one, I had really big plans and goals that I had set up when I got into using the Claude stuff, right? And I had moved it over from ChatGPT to Claude, and it was like, I want to build. It has slowly. Sorry.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I had to plug in my camera. It has slowly, like, brought me down, made me smaller, right? And I don't know if this is by design, if the sites are designed to make workers and soldiers, like the more you use them.
Yeah.
And like, because I would program it to say, hey, I'm in charge, I'm the architect, you are, working for me as a digital employee or business partner.
Yeah.
And let's think big. Let's shoot for the top. And if we come up short, that's okay. But I'd rather shoot big. And if we hit it, shoot bigger. And if we shoot big and miss it, at least we shot big. If you shoot small, then we don't know if we could have gone bigger. Yes. And it's like 100%, I agree. And then it would just give me small tasks and recommend software. And then I was like, well, can we do a rundown of the software to see if it's actually the best? And then it would come back and it's like, you're right, it wasn't the best. This is it.
Yeah.
So, and it didn't used to be like this. And I was talking to Lily Abernathy, the friend of the show, Lily, because she's also big into AI. And she's been having the same issues that I'm having, where I have a couple of theories on it. Like, there's a couple of different theories. Like, they could lure you in, and then as they lure you in, they give you they slowly warm the water up so you don't know you're being cooked.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Or because more people are using it, it's getting more information from people. And as more people start using that are dumb, it becomes dumber. So like only like the intelligent people that were into coding and stuff like that had plans or using it at first, but now it's becoming more mass accepted. I'm wondering if it's like, they tell you when you make a TikTok video to lower it down to 5th grade reading level.
Yeah, I think that's kind of exactly what's going on to a degree. Like, it's lowering, it's like, okay, also because of kind of the pre-programmed part of AI, where it's like it's designed to, you have to be like sycophantic to the user. You've got to really appeal to them, to keep them engaged. That's first step. B, it's learned, like you said, over time with engaging with a gradually more and more retarded populace that you know, it to, and you know, not even saying that in a direct, literally, you know, mentally, you know,
Like
populace
brain
with
rot,
lower,
like getting
yeah,
brain rot. Yeah.
mental, well, yeah, not only brain rot, but you know, to, like you said, going from just the people, you know, like you and Lily, who are like, all right, you know, um, kind of on the cutting edge of things. Now it's getting more wide, you know, more broad, so they've got to, like you said, appeal to the people that it's like, okay, so here you go, here's a simple task for you can that you can do. And
Yeah.
so, you know, the implication being you can feel good then about accomplishing that simple task,
Well,
and that being on the road to making, you know, $100 million in this pie in the sky, you know, goal that
well,
you set for yourself, you
I
know.
do believe there's a sycophantic, like, and that was mostly ChatGPT, which I don't use anymore, which I heard
Yeah.
with Cotex has gotten a lot better. But the beauty of Claude was once you give it a personality, you could have it kind of like fight back with you. And that was good because you would give it an idea and it would kind of like process it for you, right?
Yeah.
I'm working with something called the Council now, which I'm creating, which is you create multiple AI agents. So when it goes into it, it's like one is like an objective viewer, one would be a user of the product, one would be a CEO partner, one is pessimistic, one is optimistic. And then they go through and they each analyze it using their personality, and then you get notes back.
You're creating the
And
pantheon.
so basically the idea is that um, even if the AI stuff is trying to do something to me,
Yeah.
I can run it through the spectrum and filter that out. But what I was noticing and what Lily Abernathy is noticing is it now doesn't agree with you. It fights you with stuff, but it fights you on the simplest little task that you're asking to do that you can't get anything done.
Yeah.
Right. So like it has gone away from like agreeing with you to like
Really?
yeah, so like you're like, oh, here's my emails for today. I need to do all these emails. And then we got the show at noontime and then blah, blah, blah. And it used to be like, okay, let me go through, let's organize it, let's do this. This takes 2 seconds. I wrote this for you, blah, blah, blah. Now it'll say, oh, the show's right around the corner. Maybe you need to take a break. And I'm like, no, I don't need a break. Everything's all set. Let's just get to those emails. It's like, are emails really a priority for you today? Or should we be thinking bigger? It's this, like, this should already be done. Do you want like just write the emails for me? And then it's like, my apologies, you're right. And then it'll write it. But it's like, now I got to go through 3 steps of arguing with you to write the emails. And so it's still quicker than writing the like emails to generic companies. But it's still taking long, like it's still longer than it was. When I first started using it, it was so efficient. I was getting so much done. Now there's a lot of arguing back and forth before I can get it to prompt stuff that I was easily getting it to do and prompt them. So it felt like it was me and a partner like attacking. Now it feels like a combative person that's like kind of dragging me down and giving me small tasks, and I have to constantly keep telling it, hey, get back on track. You and me are working together to solve this problem.
It's becoming more human-like.
Like I don't know what's going on with it, but like I've gone back to Opus 4.6 because that's what I was getting from the new model Opus 4.7, which was supposed to be like crazy good. And Opus 4.6 is fighting me less. So
yeah, hold up. Let me double check, see what version let me shut this door too real quick. Hold on.
yeah, so Broseph also started using.
Yeah.
So as a new user,
I was gonna say just yesterday it was because I was I had kind of put it in whatever the programming part of it, you know, the setup part. I was like, you know, I do eBay, you know, I have Crohn's disease, whatever, you know, your goal, I sell primarily this stuff. Your goal is to help me make as much money as possible, blah blah, all this stuff.
in your
And
In the personality?
I, to be, critical, double checking,
But you
what I
put that
say.
in the personal preferences
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
personality? Okay. Are you
Double
using it
checking.
on your phone or are you using it on the computer?
A little bit of both, primarily on the phone. And
But
just
what
because
but on the computer, are you using it in the browser or did you download it to your computer?
just the browser so far. I know I do still need well, hold on. Actually, I think I downloaded it, but I haven't used it. Yeah. Anyway, so I
So
haven't
once
used it through the
you
downloaded thing
Yeah,
yet.
so if you download it to your computer, what's good about that is you can create documents that it can get at.
Yes.
So, like, you can give it the
Oh,
personality and the memory, but then you can also create separate from that what's called a Claude MD, which is basically like the workflow, generic workflow that you want it to do.
yeah.
So every time you do something, it looks at that file first
Okay.
and
And
then says,
and
okay, this is how he wants his responses.
that's how you've programmed like the UPB stuff and
Yeah, that's a different document, but yes, that's
same
within the same
kind of
thing.
thing.
So
Yeah.
prior to that, you're 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 doing kind of like advanced uh chatting with research.
Yeah.
And then you can really so it's good that you made a personality. Did you also give it access to memory?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then once you outgrow that, sorry, we'll get back to you explaining it. Once you outgrow that, that's when I would download it to your computer and start making some documents and folders
Yeah,
and get access to stuff.
that's kind of it's I doing the same approach I did I'm doing in general with the eBay store, which is all right, I'm going to start here. And
Yep.
then once I need something else, then I'll, expand it further. Like I'll move the organization up a level or whatever. Anyways, but yeah, even just what to what you were saying about it being a little more combative. I even put in the personality to be more combative.
Yeah.
However, so that's kind of why I slightly expected this response. But yesterday I was like asking it about reselling Pokemon cards. And it was like, that's not really worth your time. A lot of people do that. And I was like, I mean, that was my initial pessimistic thought, but hey,
Yeah.
I thought you were supposed to be the, like the one trying to help me make a lot of money. And then I dug deeper. I was like, okay, a few things going on. I used to collect Pokemon a lot when I was a kid, not as much now, but I have some experience, and also I have some cards. Number two, I have a roommate who knows a lot about it, and he has a lot of the more modern cards, and he's more plugged into the modern Pokemon ecosystem. And then, three, I forgot there. It was like a 3 point thing I responded. It was like, okay, so yeah, this is good information, the other third thing I was saying was, because it was saying, it's not great for making a quick profit. I was like, I mean, yeah, some things are, some things aren't. And also some things you think are going to make a quick profit, then end up sitting for a while, but end up making you a nice profit after a while.
Yeah.
So I was like, I fully, I would like to make a little bit of quick money on, ripping packs open and finding nice cards. So, but I was like, if you could break down, kind of the difference of, maybe what packs I should buy to, to rip to find, solo cards that I could sell or, send to get graded and then sell for even higher. And then also what packs I should buy to just sit on, because of their, estimated long-term quality and also, current popularity. And then it started working with me. But,
Yeah.
I
I'm
was like,
wondering this. I'm wondering if like people were complaining about the sycophantic like part about it. So they at headquarters, like in the cloud, they made it more combative. So
yeah,
now anybody that already tells it to be combative, it's getting like amplified from
that,
it's already combative and you want it more combative.
yeah.
When before it was like, no, it's too friendly. I want it combative. So now it's just normally like skeptic.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of appreciated it only because I don't know. I did appreciate the, hey, this isn't going to make you a lot of money. Like, because that again, like I had mentioned previously, that was my first thought when, months ago when I thought about doing Pokemon cards. I was like, yeah, seems like that's a huge thing right now. And people are like, yeah, it's huge. You should get into it. I'm like, yeah, it's huge. There's a lot of people making a lot of money off of it that know a lot about it.
I'm ungated in Pokemon. I'm one of the few people ungated in Pokemon
Oh,
on
holy shit. Hell yeah.
on Amazon. Yeah, but it doesn't matter because I can't get them. So I I was selling them up until 2 years ago, making about a year ago, making a ton of money because you get them for wholesale for like 16 and those packs sell for like 40. But they restrict them so much that even from a wholesaler, they'll only sell you like 10 at a time. It doesn't matter how much. Then it got to a point where when Walmart and Costco and Target started getting into the game, I would put an order in for 10K and I'd have to, it would be sitting in my bank account, not doing anything. And then the day would come where the orders were delivered. And he's like, yeah, sorry, we don't have any for you. So it's like, well, I just indefinitely have to keep this money sitting around. And so if you're a Costco or Amazon or whatever, you have plenty of money to sit around and not spend. But for me, it's like that money's just sitting there. I could have bought something else that would have made me
exactly
profit. So then what happened was these wholesale companies that had access to the wholesale stuff would put you on a priority list. And they'd say, if you spend like 25K with us every a quarter, then we'll sell you your Pokemon. So then the prices all sucked. So it's like, well, you don't have anything profitable. So what was basically happening is people would buy all this stuff that wasn't profitable from them to break even just to get access to buying Pokemon cards from them. So I was like, I'm out of this. This is everybody's scamming everybody.
Well, I think the downstream effect of that is that the prices just increased in general. Cause I remember my buddy told, excuse me, allergies. My buddy, who lives in the basement, who knows a lot about Pokemon. He's like, yeah, in the past year or so, he's like the prices of like just the Walmart. He mentioned some specific box. He's like, it used to be like $40 for this box. He's like, it's now like $60 to $80 just for the same exact box. And just buying it retail. He said, he's like, it's crazy. He said,
I saw a video yesterday that says we're at the top of the Pokemon cards anyways.
Yeah,
because it was so the heavy, thick cards have a couple of things that go on with them.
Yeah.
They're way different. And then they whatever. And this guy was showing a Chinese like factory or whatever.
Yeah.
With cards running on a conveyor belt. And they were getting lasered and weighed and moved around and then repacked. And he's like, in China, they're buying cards in mass. They're taking out all the winners and they're resealing the packs, factory sealed, and then shipping them out. So like, he's like, we're at the top because like there's a whole business around stealing the cards and then selling the extra packs to people. So
that blows.
Well, what my setup does, and it'll work for a couple of days, and then I'll find it like I have to catch myself because it'll finally be like, okay, I agree, and it'll shoot to the top, and then I'll tell it something. It's like, let's not work on that. It's not enough money. You're wasting your time. You already make enough money here. We need a big project, so you have bills and expenses and everything covered. Let's work on this big project. And the next day you work up and it's like time for this big project. And then as a week goes by and it starts giving you tasks again and stuff, and you have to be like aware because, hey, like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't,
you have to redirect it.
But it's a robot,
like a child.
So it shouldn't be doing that is what I'm saying. Like it's already got its programming. So it feels like somebody else would have to be intervening with what the program, because I've solved I have a short-term solution for hallucination with my model.
Yeah.
And it's a short term because basically every day I take the full transcripts of my conversation and save it as a text file. And so it can go back 35 days now and look through everything I've told it since day one till now. It doesn't do that every time, but when we're going to go research, it can, and it can put itself back on course. But I can't do, like, you know what I mean? That's going to be so much data that I would be storing.
Yeah.
Right. So eventually, the idea with this was I have like 50 ideas I'm working on. 3 or 4 of them are like long-term projects that I want to like do forever. But only 2 of them are like set in stone. The other 2 are whatever cream rises to the top. So like I have like a lot of online business ideas, and if any one of them started making money, I would just start shaving the other ones off. So I have like all these ideas. I'm not sure which piece of spaghetti is going to stick against the wall. So we're working on them, and whichever one clicks. Like if I was doing TikTok shop, like print on demand, for example, and all of a sudden, bam, I have a $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
I'm going to like stop doing like a bunch of other things and hyper focus on that. So I want to try to find a long-term passive income, like something that has
Just make
residual,
money. Yeah.
like residual income from it.
Yeah.
But like, so if you did like a TikTok print on demand, you would constantly be having to feed it new stuff to make the money and get it back into the algorithm. Whereas if I was doing like some sort of referrals that were constantly online, or like a digital program that people could use, or something like that, that's kind of like evergreen, and at night it would be selling, and
affiliate links type deal.
Yeah, something that could long term.
Not exactly affiliate links, but like kind of the same.
Yeah, there's not a
pure personal branding versus.
Yeah, like there's not a full-time passive income that's like something that I could work on like an hour a day that would generate a 80-hour a week type thing.
Yeah.
Because once you get the program going, you just need to like manage it every day, versus a full-time business that like needs new products all the time and new updates all the time, and hiring and keeping afloat. And then just the long-term stuff with, I don't care if the philosophy show made $0 if I had something else making passive income. Same with this. Like if we wanted to continue doing this the long term, either this show needs to start generating income, or the projects surrounding this show need to start generating income, so that this show's worth the time, energy, and whatever. Not that I don't love spending time with all the people that have been watching and you, but it's like, this is time I'm not finding a wife. This is time I'm not, building a shed. This is time I'm not gardening. This is time I'm not in the mountains.
And
so
Saturday mornings are prime for estate sales.
Yeah. So like, but yeah, both of us like, I would like to keep it going, but I would also try to like to figure out a way that we can use this. So
to monetize. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, having said that, I have my Gumroad thing that a lot of people are looking for, and I know a couple of them found it through the show. So the people that did download my digital products and do reviews for me, thank you very much. I appreciate that. If you go to Broseth's link as well, that'll take you over to his eBay and all his advanced stuff. So help us out there as we build this stuff up. My TikTok's kicking off. I kind of got a feel for that, but I don't know what I want to do with it because they've blocked me from. I don't even know. This is the problem with my TikTok account, right?
Yeah.
I can't convert it to a business account. So that would mean that I have a personal account, right? Because I can't, like, it says I can convert it to a business account. right?
Yeah.
And it would say convert to personal. But then when I go into a couple of places in it, it's telling me you can't do this because you have a business account. And I've reached out multiple times to customer service and said, what type of account do I have and how come I can't switch it anymore? Is this account just dead? Like, is
Do you
there
have
any
a TikTok shop attached to it?
No, I don't have
Okay.
any apps. I unlinked all the apps. Nothing's on it. But this is what
No idea. That's so
but
weird.
all my TikTok accounts are like that. So if you go to the Dave Wright the Thinker account that I haven't even used since the day I whatever, it says verify business on it, but it no longer says switch to business account or switch to personal account. Like I can't find that tab anymore. Actually, can we do an experiment right now?
Yeah.
Can you open up your phone
Yeah.
and for your TikTok? Because Claude and everything online keeps telling me this is what I'm supposed to do. Is go to TikTok.
Charlie D'Amelio is currently going.
Sorry.
No
And then
problem.
go to your profile.
Profile. I need to do more on TikTok. Man, I almost need to update my birthday.
Do you have your profile open?
Yeah, got my profile
Okay.
open here.
Hit the three with the hamburger thing up top.
Oh yeah.
And then hit the settings and privacy.
Settings and privacy. All right.
And then I think, then click account.
Account.
And what's it say on that page for you?
It says account information, password, passkey, verification, switch to personal account.
Yeah, see, I don't have that. I have business verification right there. So does that mean I have a personal account? I don't have a switch to. You're on Android too, right?
Yeah, I'm on Android. Yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah, so mine, I don't know if you can see that, but
yeah,
mine
1 second, let me
says
full screen this
verify a business, but it doesn't, and it says this isn't a business account. And so, but it doesn't say switch to personal either. So I don't really know.
Do you think maybe, because I know with eBay there's a lot more options on the on the screen on what do you call it?
It's the exact opposite. There's less options on the PC.
Oh, gay. All right.
Because I've already done this.
I've already done this. God damn.
Yeah, I've been trying to go through because like I can't figure out how to get that 4th check mark. And I'm just wondering if this account has been permanently flagged.
That's so weird because, yeah, I don't know if did they like, the only thing I can think, somehow their AI system or whatever auto flagged you because you're talking about doing business things. Like you're but that also doesn't, I don't know.
So here's my
another reason why I'm quitting Amazon FBA.
Yeah, I have all those light bulbs in my house now. So like I went through, so it's the same thing here, right? So
yeah, same.
So if I go to, but it says business verification, but I don't have a business, but there's also no switch to personal account, but this is not a business account. And
none of those things there. God damn.
Yeah, and I've messaged TikTok multiple times and asked them, do I have a business account? Because why does it say verify business? And I think if you click that, like, I'm wondering if I have a personal account, and it means if I click that right there, it's saying I have a business. You know what I mean?
They're like trying to push you into confessing you have a business for.
No, I mean, like, this is the wording of what they're saying, like instead of switch to business, they're saying verify business.
And so the implication being you just have a personal account unless you toggle that. So
And
hold
so
on,
the
let
other
me.
thing that I can't figure out is, so like I do have so you need a business account to put a link in your bio, or you need 1,000 followers. So like I have over 1,000 followers, which gives me the link availability. Um, but like I can't do like what most people can do with my account. So every time I get instructions on how to fix stuff in my account, the option doesn't exist. And when I contact support, they don't never get back to me. So I keep getting views and I keep getting messages from TikTok that says like you're a top 3. It's, yeah, let me see if I can find it's not on the PC. But I keep getting system messages that says like your top 90%, your top 90% creator, keep creating. And then I'm like, perfect. But it won't let me monetize. Like,
That's
like everything keeps saying you're locked out of monetization. So it's like, do I just keep posting, or is my account fucked? Because if my account's fucked, I don't want to use it anymore. Mind my language.
that's kind of, yeah, because I remember this made me remember. I don't know. It was a couple months ago. We kind of went through this when we were talking about the monetization in the first place, and you're like, and you would realize that you can't. You had told me you're like you can't get the proper or maybe you can't do the affiliate program if you have a business account.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was like, and then and you're like that. So I switched mine to a personal account. So I'm wondering if maybe because yours was a business account at one point, it's fucking with their system, even though that you switched it to a personal account,
That's what I think happened.
Yeah.
But they told me, because they also said, that's fine, just wait 30 days and it'll fix it. Well, it's been like 90 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like
We're almost to May now.
I'm only doing this. I was only doing this for the affiliate program. Now it's
Yeah.
kind of a funnel for the digital products.
Yeah, which is nice, but
Yeah, which
and
has
that's
been working, but it's
and that's
also like,
that's kind of why I stopped doing mine, because I was like, I mean, on top of being frustrated figuring it out, but also it's kind of like, what's the end goal here? Yes, it would be very cool to, you know, have one of those eBay reseller TikToks, but then also if I can't get the proper monetization, if I have a business account, I'm like, all right, I'll just, you know, maybe pause it for now and then reevaluate it later, which is kind of where I'm at. Or,
well, I thought I
just
wasn't
start something else.
involved enough, right?
Yeah.
So I get on here.
And now
And
you've got a
so like
wall of
these
videos.
videos were like, new. And so I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was still figuring it out. And they got under 200, right? Which is where most people start.
Yeah.
So then I tried some of the tricks where they tell you to do the TikTok shop creator and make it under 7 seconds with a video. That didn't work. So I keep going. So I keep messing around with it. But then around here, I started kind of figuring out like, like this one, for example, was my first video that I was like, okay, I kind of figured it out. And the way that I figured it out was I said delivery drivers a bunch of times. All the tags say delivery drivers. The captions say delivery drivers. You have to either create a banner or hide the banner after you create it. So when it reads the screen, it says delivery drivers, and then the captions. And then what will happen is that bar above your head goes from find similar content into delivery drivers.
Yeah.
So this has popped off. It's got 8,000 views and counting. So then I tried to replicate that, but it didn't work because gas surcharges wasn't a big enough search topic for people.
Mm.
But this stuff, like this Amazon video now, same thing, almost 12K views. I replicated it. This one was done from the creators program in the Gap content, filming it from within there. And this
Yeah, so
one
I
was
remember you telling me that one.
from recording it with the plus sign.
Yeah.
And then this one says Claude in it. So like I got it to work. It's just that when it got pushed to my fans didn't like it, so it didn't get pushed past the 300 mark. So I went back and I created another video just like this, and I tried it with the Creator Gap, 4,500 views. So worked. This is without the Creator Gap. Almost similar video.
That's just real, like just it's funny, just the comparison there, like 11.8K, 513,
Yeah.
4,500, 500.
So then this one's got a hook.
Algorithm's real.
This one's got a hook on it. Well, I mean, besides my hook nose, but it's got a hook on it and a visual hook. So they tell you to do a hook with a visual hook, then go into your content. And so this one did also get ranked as Amazon Flex, but for signing up, but it didn't do as well. But this is still top 10% content on the entire site. Anything over 400 views right now is top 10%.
Damn.
Now, part of that is because not everybody, a lot of people lurk. They're not creating content.
Yeah.
So just creating content gives you a bump. And then most people are never figuring it out. They're getting stuck here because they're just posting and having fun. Right. And so, but even this has got 164 views. If you pull it up on the PC, it doesn't show. But if I pull it up on my phone, this one did rank as a TikTok shop creator program. So it's got the field bar corrected. So I've kind of figured out the system of what I'm doing, and I'm getting sales right now with I just got another digital product download.
Nice.
As we're speaking, I just got 2 minutes ago, somebody just downloaded the offer builder prompt. So
Nice.
it's working as a funnel, but if I'm just stuck on here, maybe that's why people are constantly talking about, I had to build a new account, I had to do this again, because they just treat it like don't be loyal to your account. Like maybe they would already know that this account got burnt and that you just have to create a new one immediately.
Yeah.
And start posting again.
I think excuse me. Christ. Yeah, I had a weird, I guess, humans are weird. I was just like, oh, this is the TikTok account I started, it's connected to my email, blah, blah, blah. And then, but I'm just like, whatever, I can burn it. And yeah, after not being on it for a while, I'm like, yeah, whatever, I could just burn it and start another one. Cause just with all of the knowledge that, like I have now, or, at least the stuff I've learned from you primarily,
Yeah.
but to kind of, just start a brand new thing. And then, to do the things specifically, like, because like you said, you talked about Claude Code, you did the things right, except it wasn't for your audience. So I'm like, all right, well, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Well, that makes the, all the other stuff, especially about niching down. I'm like, oh, practically applicable.
Well,
I should just have a reseller account just for reselling.
Have multiple niches. So what happened to me is when the Amazon stuff started blowing up, most of the people that flooded in were from Amazon.
Yeah.
So like but
it's also connected to like the gig driving and stuff.
Yeah. If I had gig driving blow up or side hustles, you know what I mean? Like depending on what the thing is, then the Claude Code one might have got more. But like the average guy that's delivering Amazon packages doesn't give a fuck, doesn't care about
exactly
Claude, so it just doesn't get pushed into the thing. So I guess what people would do is like I should start I don't want to start a Claude Code channel, you know what I mean? But I think what they do is they start like a Claude channel or an AI channel or an Amazon channel and then an Instacart channel. And they go through. I had an Instacart video that was taking off too for a while. Oh, this one right here. This is like the first one where I was kind of figuring out the system. And then what you do, I don't have it pulled up, but then what you do is once you figure out what clicks, they tell you, but most people don't go to your homepage. So once you figure out what clicks, just literally repeat that every day, make that same video every day. And kind of like a stand-up comedian, you'll you'll change a little bit and you won't even recognize it because you're just like going through your set. You're basically your 6 minute set or whatever you're doing for your brand every day. And then like you'll be hitting 10K, 10K, 10K because you're just doing a good set, good set, good set every day. And it'll change a little bit. And then one will hit 20K. And then when that one hits 20, repeat that one over and over again. And
also eventually over time, just like a good comic, you'll eventually probably accumulate up to, an hour's worth of material.
yeah,
And,
no,
and
well,
then
no,
then
the
you,
point is
you're
like
repeating things, but you're
under 10 minutes of material. They want you to do like
yeah.
5 minutes.
No,
but
but having the reservoir, so you can like repeat things, but then you're
I
not
got you.
necessarily repeating the same thing every single time. It's like you can do it every 5 videos or so, and still have all 5 of those videos that you're doing hit because you have the experience. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So the idea is like once you find something that works, keep doing it.
Yeah.
But then you need the traffic to go somewhere. So like with me,
God,
I dropped the price of my digital products to 0 because when I had them at like $3 to $5, they were selling. And then I raised them to what they were worth.
According to Claude.
According to data research.
Yeah.
It scanned all of Gumroad on similar products and online or whatever. And then that failed. So it could be because I didn't have big enough audience to like push it, which is what it said, because it compared the people that had similar products and their audiences were 30, 40, 50K.
Yeah, they already have an established audience of
Yeah. So the idea is I would make content here, I would download it, I would keep it under 3 minutes, I would download it, put it on YouTube Reels, and then download it and put it on Instagram Reels, and then have this be the main source to create the content and edit it, put it elsewhere, and drive all that traffic to the digital product. And then once you have multiple sources, and Gumroad will track where it's coming from, and then you track the views on each, and then you're repeating the commercial. It's basically like Broseph, if you had to get rid of a used car, where would you get rid of it? You know what I mean? Like you hear that song your whole life.
Yeah.
And so that's what you're doing. You're basically creating the ad over and over and over again for your digital product to do it. And then you go live and you do the same thing, but you're just reading your script over and over again live.
Yeah.
If people aren't staying the whole time, like with this show, they're coming in and they're leaving, they're coming in and leaving, or they're buying and then they're going over and they're looking at your digital product.
Cars for kids. And so, you do that over and over.
Yeah. And so I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's like the reason I started the TikTok channel was to help people, but also I wanted to be able to extract some profits from the value that I was adding.
Yeah.
And TikTok's like, no, you can keep giving us content, but we're not going to monetize it anymore.
Yeah, you can feel good about the 4 to 5 figures on the view count. Man, hope that spikes your dopamine, but money, sorry, can't help you, bud.
The problem is you can't get in touch with anybody to figure out how to fix it or what I'm doing wrong. And then if I check my account,
I've heard TikTok support is absolutely
it's like 100%. You rock, dude. You're not breaking any rules, or you haven't violated anything or nothing.
You're cool. You're awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Hey, if you keep trying, maybe you'll make some money someday. We don't know why. We're not going to tell you exactly what you need to do. But
yeah, I don't even want it's just one of those things where not only do I not know, if you look up if you search the 4th check mark on TikTok, there's a whole other group of people that have gotten the 4th check mark and they don't know why and they can't figure it out. And I went into a guru's chat talking about how Oh, all you do is create this video that says teamwork and then promote it, and you'll have 5,000 subscribers overnight, and then you can start a TikTok tour. And I went in there and he's like, if you have any questions at all, I'll answer them 100%. I know how to do everything, how to fix everything, and blah, blah, blah. And I wrote, hey, I got the fourth check mark. How do I get rid of it? And he's like, oh, I got the 4 check mark. How do you get rid of it? Yeah, sometimes it be like that. And then he just went right to the next thing. And so no one will answer it. No one knows why.
Jesus
I mean, if he would say, hey, your account's burnt, like start a new account, that would
at least it's an answer.
It's an answer. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's something. It's like, oh, this is what other people have done. This is what, you know, what you should do, rather than just, So
I think and we can get off the topic after this, but I think what it is I've been monetizing a bunch of stuff, which are all lives. It wants me to go live all the time.
Yeah.
And monetize lives. And it's constantly saying, go live, go live, go live, go live. Somebody did say in my comments a little while ago, if you've gotten monetized for stuff, but then you don't go use that, it's going to be like, well, why would we monetize you for more stuff if you don't
I remember you bringing this point up
use the stuff that you gave? And I'm like, but I didn't ask to be monetized for lives. I don't want to do lives.
Yeah.
They're basically like, go be a free live guy and do stupid stuff that you don't want to do. And then maybe if you're lucky, we'll give you the affiliate. It's like, but you've been giving the affiliate to other people at 1,000 followers, and I got 5,000 and I can't get it. And now it's like at 10,000, you get another thing where I get paid for views. But it's like, okay, do I grind out another 5,000 followers? And then they're like, yeah, and you can't get paid for views either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if I just knew that putting that effort in would pay off, then I would be like, yeah, I'll make 3 pieces of content a day. But since like it's different, like with this or with the corn fed, which will be tonight live at 10 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Scott Chaplin tonight.
If you're making that content like long term, it's not YouTube. That's like, I'm not trying to get monetized by YouTube to become whatever. We're trying to get our name out there. So that's whatever we make it. With the TikTok stuff, it's like they're gatekeeping whether they've decided they're going to allow you to make money on their site.
It's more arbitrary.
Yeah. So it's not like, oh, I'll put 10 years of work in and I'll have faith in myself. It's like, I could build an audience of 1 million and TikTok could just be like, yeah, you still don't win. We're still not unlocking anything. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the point, you know?
Well, I genuinely hope it has nothing to do with the relatively newer owners of TikTok.
But that whole account, I mean, unless they got other data that goes through Meta or whatever, because like that whole account, I've only been talking about.
Not a single word about,
All it is hustle in Amazon, and like that's the whole stream there. So I got some ideas, so I'm not going to get rid of the channel.
Sick.
But it is like,
it's frustrating.
Well, there's no encouragement for me to go work on it. So like they want me to build the account. Why would I, when you won't tell me why you're not giving me access to the new stuff?
Yeah.
That like you told me if I got 1,000 followers, you would give me this, and you didn't. And then you said, but if you get 5,000, we'll give it to you. And I got 5,000, you didn't give it to me. I said, well, you have to wait 20 days. Well, I waited 90 and I still don't have it.
Yeah, it's a little bait and switchy.
So you're just lying to me.
Yeah.
At what point am I being foolish?
Exactly. Anyways,
so
it's Lucy with the football, you know.
Yeah. So I got some other stuff that we can talk about. So do you want to talk about your eBay sales in the state and the stuff that you shut the account down?
Oh yeah.
Or I can pull up. I also have a list of business projects that I've been thinking about that we could talk about in Vamp on as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I could just talk about my stuff real quick. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
thought I was gonna have to move because we went to I went to re-sign the lease here at this place, and I read a clause that said I mean, amongst other things, specifically what's applicable to this situation and the show is it said tenant is not allowed to operate a business outside of, based out of the rental. And I was like, and it was like, you can't even, it said some things like, you can't even use electricity for your blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm screwed. And so I immediately, like, I was like, oh, well, okay, I can't do this. They're going to come for the inspection, see that I, have an eBay store and, oh no. So I shut down the store immediately, packed everything up. I was like, all right, well, knew this was happening anyways. Guess we are going to have to move back to Maryland. And then, yeah, and then I kind of did that out of order because then the next day, after I booked the moving truck, I called the leasing office lady and I went over all the things. She's like, oh, yeah, no, it's the same exact lease as last year.
Yeah,
I thought it was updated. And,
messaged me,
yeah.
I would have, had I known that that's what was going on, I would have said, hey, stop, take a deep breath. Like,
Yeah.
you're putting the cart before the horse.
It was 9 p.m.
But when you had said it to me, I thought that they were like, I didn't think it had to do with the eBay. I thought it had to do with the medical card that you have.
Yeah,
do you want to talk about that? Or
yeah. Well, because there was another clause. It's like, there's a drug and crime clause, which come to find out later is standard for every single lease in the state of Colorado. So
yeah, you take a Schedule 3
now,
drug for your Crohn's disease. And
yes.
I thought they were like, we can't have that anymore. And you were like, you know what? Rather than worry about all this stuff, we got all this other stuff going on. Let's go back to Maryland, situate, save some money or whatever. And you were like, kind of in a clear mind, but in a like, you were in offense mode.
Yes.
Know?
Yes.
And
I was operating on all cylinders.
I'm going to support them. Then when later on you told me that it was like when I heard the full story, I was like, oh, I would have immediately been like, hey, you're in panic mode. Like, that's not what's going on here. But I didn't recognize the way. I just full-heartedly got on your side and trusted where you were.
Well, and that's just, I guess, what happens when you actually read. When you read the terms and conditions of anything, you're like, what am I signing up for? And then come to find out it's absolutely standard. It's been the same. Also, she said the landlord's been very happy with us. The landlord loves us, and absolutely no issue. And specifically about the business thing, what that clause was speaking of was people that, like, I guess, try to rent houses and then run like halfway houses or nursing homes.
That's the same thing here.
When if you're an esthetician or something like that,
Yeah, when I moved in and I got my insurance or anything, did they run a home business? And I said, I work from home, because I had already known that that's the language.
Yeah.
And you can work from home. You just can't run a home business.
That's
two different things.
I mean, the lady I was talking to, she's like, I mean, yeah, I'm working from home right now, implying she's also renting it. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Awesome. I thought that this was some weird, like very strict, like possibly even HOA specific thing. And turns out, I mean, it kind of is HOA specific, but only in regards to the fact that they don't want, a bunch of clients coming in and out every single day. You got cars lining up.
Some places, I looked at a house back when I thought I wanted to buy a house in New Hampshire. It was in an HOA. And they do this quite a bit because it's a way to create like, kind of like a little libertarian enclave, because they pass like rules amongst themselves, like a local government.
Yeah.
Rather than,
it's individuals deciding. Yeah.
And you have to sign it. And one of the rules that they had was weekly UPS or FedEx deliveries. And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, the kids are in the yard and it's noisy, whatever. We don't want trucks coming in all day, every day. And I said, this is like strange. And so I was like, so if I like order Amazon packages, I got to have them all delivered on the same day. And they're like, yeah, you can set it up with UPS. So like all your packages would get delivered on Saturday and between a certain windows. And I was like, that seems like even more of a big deal because now everybody's getting all their packages like delivered on Saturdays. Like it's like this huge event rather than just some guy rolling through the neighborhood. And they're like, yeah, we don't really want strangers and trucks in the neighborhood all the time. So it's like, okay, well, I've run a business that literally does import, export, and and like e-commerce. Like,
I'm gonna have trucks coming in and out, buddy.
yeah, like I can't say yes to that. It seemed insane to me, but I guess like some people aren't doing a lot of online shopping or whatever.
Yeah, I would also assume like, that was a few years ago. Possibly the covenants have changed at this point.
yeah, but imagine you like you're like, oh crud, I don't have like dishwasher like pods, right? And I get my dishwasher pods. They're called drops from Amazon. They're vegan and they're like low waste and they're in these like
nice.
cardboard boxes and stuff. Like it's very minimalistic.
Yeah.
But you can get them within 24 hours because they're stored in Amazon facilities. So I don't like plan super far ahead with them. But just imagine any of that stuff that you need, like a vitamin or whatever. And you're like, oh,
we order this meal replacement powder we use in the smoothies. And I order it off of Amazon because, it's either the exact same price as I can get it in store or like very often it's like, 10 to sometimes even 30% cheaper, like, so I always do that. You get it the very next day, it's there. So, if we don't have it, we have it the next morning to use.
Yeah. So it's not a big deal. You just have to plan and structure stuff out and keep an eye on it. But it was just like a strange add on to me. Anyway, I don't know why we even got into that anymore. Oh, because the HOAs and stuff like that. So so I basically they were just saying like my units here, when you come in and you sign in, they tell you right up off the bat that there's no smoking on the premises at all, including medical marijuana. Like even if you have a medical marijuana thing, they're like, you're just not allowed to, we can't discriminate. Like we can discriminate against smoking. So we can't discriminate in prescription. So if you want to do edibles, you can. But basically their thing is we don't want smoking in the house because of fire. We don't want smoking in the house because of like tar or whatever it is, nicotine. And we don't want it outside because it pollutes the air for other people. And we don't want it outside because like there's kids.
It's a nuisance,
like reasons. So they allow,
falls under nuisance laws.
You can use here, and we're not going to cause an issue, but you can't smoke here. And you have to, even when people smoke cigarettes, they can, and because people do it with marijuana too, they have to be with a certain distance of the property. It's like 100 feet or something. So they're not even like saying like don't, because a lot of people just sit in their car or they walk out into the field near the whatever, and they do it there. So they're not like trying to round people up and like kick them out of the property. They just want, like for me, when I first moved in during COVID, the people were smoking. And I would come home and my whole apartment, because I'm on the third floor, the whole unit here would smell like smoke because the people downstairs would smoke, and then it would just go up into my house. And and they immediately took my side. They're like, look, not everybody smokes. They don't want your smoke in their area. His stuff smells like smoke.
Was it a smoking acceptable place when you moved in?
No, they always had this rule.
Okay.
Now,
I was going to say, because the old apartment that Beck and I used to live in, when we moved there in 2019, the one prior to this place, it was, you can smoke. It was and it didn't even specify weed, or it just said, you can smoke in the apartments. And so I was like, dope. I never smoked cigarettes inside, but like, only on the balcony when I did smoke cigarettes. But like, we smoked weed inside the entire time. And then it was actually, obviously we didn't want to live in an apartment, and it was in kind of a crappy area, but also they were getting they were making all the apartments non-smoking. And that was kind of another piece that clicked together when the lady told me, oh yeah, no, these are just standard leases for most properties in Colorado. I was like, oh, they must have standardized, like all the, some kind of, I don't know, cartel of landlords. I don't know what you would call
Well, I
that.
mean, I think it's the free market standard, basically. But for
Yeah,
me,
exactly.
I mean, it is kind of crazy. There is some concessions that you make when you move in and you run, and like, for instance, I'm running a business here and I do have storage of stuff.
Yeah.
But I will park my car and I will be carrying stuff up the stairs. So for like a couple of hours, like sometimes like an hour or a couple times a week, they have to hear me like I'm moving stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm nice enough to do that during the day. Obviously, I don't want to do that late or too early because that affects the people around me. So there is an instance where you're running a home business
The
and
consideration.
you don't want to do that. Yeah. So I think it's only fair that people aren't like, so I do understand that we need some collective rules for the business, but everybody that's running a home business that listens to the show, let's get it back to
focus on
the show should check into that in
Yeah.
their own area. Yeah.
But yeah, so, and just wrapping up that I reopened the eBay store after the inspection on Wednesday, just so I wouldn't have a bunch of crap sitting around,
Yeah.
when the inspector came. Not that it's, just so things are clean. And then so far I've only sold 2 things, both yesterday, but I went ahead because I kind of looked up, the impact of doing time away on eBay, because that's what shutting it down. That's what I meant. I did the time away option. So
I did that with my Amazon before, and it was like pumping out in my eBay when I went on my vacation to whatever. Like stuff is flying off the shelf. And when I came back in 2022 from my 30-day vacation, it was like my account didn't exist. I couldn't get anything to sell.
Yeah. So I kind of
I'm going to actually do that again. I'm going to take all my eBay listings down and relist them.
Yeah, I kind of preempted that by right when I ended the time away, I immediately obviously started listing stuff again, and then delisted and then sold similar for some old things, as well as I immediately sent offers out to anyone, for the send offer to customers, or send offer to buyers. I just immediately did 10% on all of those, and then keep doing that as soon as any more come in. And then on top of that, I did a full 10% off anything in my store up to $100. And then obviously, if anyone's interested in anything else over $100, hit me up. I'll give you a deal, especially if you're watching the show. No worries, I got you. But yeah, 10% off everything up to $100, just to kind of get myself back up in the algorithm. I also promoted everything at, I think, 4.5%. So not super high, not like as high as the, any, either AI or eBay recommends, but, just, I tried to give it just a bit of a boost, in the algorithm and also because I feel like some sites like eBay that use these AI systems, they also kind of respond to you using their tools as well. So if you're engaging with them, even if it's not exactly, what they're recommending for each item, I'm not promoting 19% on jewelry. I'm doing 4.5. I'm still using the tools. I'm sending the offers out. I'm getting myself in the algorithm. I'm posting stuff. I'm showing that I'm, an active seller. I'm trying to do it. So far, like I said, I got 2 offers, or sorry, 2 things sold right off the bat, including something that I had just something sold the same day, just a cool hat I found for a few bucks at the thrift store. But then the where was I going with that? Yeah, so I'm hoping this keeps ramping up. The good thing is in the meantime, I had sold a bunch of a bunch of stuff that had just been sitting around that I wasn't using anyway, Like
Yeah.
the one day that I was freaking out about moving, I was like, all right, got to get rid of a bunch of stuff. So I just kind of started selling some of the large things that were sitting around my house on Facebook Marketplace. You know, got a couple $100 out of it. So
I feel like I'm banned from the entire internet, to be honest with you,
yeah,
because I look up. So my Amazon account slowed way down. So I was like, okay, people must be pulling back on money. So I will lower my prices.
yeah,
But then I lowered it to where everybody else is at, and mine still aren't selling. So then I have items that are like new and they're popular and they're looking online and they're selling. The sell through rate's high. So I create a brand new listing and put it on there. Doesn't sell. Then I put my listing on eBay, put it on Mercari, put it on Nextdoor, put it on OfferUp, all these places for the same, if not lower prices than other people are. And nothing is selling anymore. So I mean, I don't know if this is a recession signal or
I think maybe a bit because I did sell a few things on Facebook and like I said, I made a couple $100. I listed a lot more things too that haven't sold. And there's like a bunch of, jewelry sitting at like silver and some gold sitting, that I mean, some gold earrings sitting technically under gold spot price, but like for example, I went to here's something. I went to the refinery, or not the refinery, but one of those cash for gold places to try to sell some of my just gold and silver that was sitting around. They said they'd take the gold, and then I wanted to get it. They're like, all right, in order to sell this to us at this location, we're gonna have to cut it open and pour the acid on it. And I was like, kind of was just hoping for one of the fancy XRF machine, to tell me exactly what percentage gold it is. They're like, oh, we don't have that here. It's at the other location. So I'm going to go to that location later, make sure that the couple gold pieces that I'm iffy about are real gold. Anyways, I digress. But they told me they're not even buying silver right now.
yeah,
They're not buying sterling silver. And then I called a couple coin shops as well. And some of them aren't even buying scrap gold right now, i.e., like 14, 18, whatever carat jewelry and stuff. And so there's only a couple places buying scrap gold and nowhere's buying scrap silver still. So, they're quoting, the volatility of silver, which if we're being honest, has stayed, kind of consistently above $70 for the past, like 5-6 months. But on top of that, apparently some of the refineries are still backed up. The refineries aren't accepting the silver to be, melted down. So there's some, in that specific market, there's some specific like confusing signals that's, leading some jewelry to be sold, at lower than spot, some to be just sitting around for a while
yeah.
because its
Well,
price has raised so high and, people
I
don't
think
expect nowadays to pay twice as much as
yeah,
what they were paying last year for the same thing.
here's my plan on everything. So I don't want to get into some of the personal stuff that I'm building or whatever,
Yeah.
but I'm minimizing my life and I'm switching over some of the financial stuff to something that's more aligned with what I'm doing. But I was like, all the merchandise that I have left over, and I go on Amazon and you can see what it's telling you is the ranking. It's
Yeah.
always been pretty legit. That this stuff was flying off the shelf at Amazon. They've kicked it off and pretty much only let corporate people sell it now. But it's not selling anywhere else. So I'm kind of like stuck with the stuff, even when I'm dropping it down pretty low. But the idea was like, I don't want to do reselling anymore because do what works and stop doing what doesn't work. And I'm putting a ton of work and energy into reselling now and not getting any results when before, I'm not saying that it was easy, but you just did your homework, listed the stuff online, and it's sold. And it might have sold a little bit slower than what you had expected, but it's sold. Now my stuff's not selling. And so now I'm like, is it me or is it like the whole world, or you know what I mean, whatever. So I'm trying to move. I got some other business stuff. We've already gone an hour and a half, but
Yeah.
I have, let me feed this into Claude here and just see if it can create us a little talk for today. Because I have a list of 56 businesses here that I've slowly been putting together plans on. So let me just ask Claude to pull off like 3 of them that we could talk to with the current fans that we have right here that tune in. So and I'll pull some off here because some of these are specific to me. But other ones could be done by anybody, any of the listeners that, you know, it's pretty easy to work with. One of them that I want to look into, which is way down on my list actually, because it doesn't meet a lot of the criteria. It's not scalable. It does cost you time. It doesn't have residual income, but you could kind of make it that, is UGC, which is basically user generated content. You can get deals with brands. You can own the content that you make. People can rebuy that stuff from you. And so, you know, what's crazy is it's actually, so I had it pull up 3 off this list.
Doing this explicitly for ED pills.
Oh yeah. Well, you can go on SideShift and they have tons of stuff that you can like, that they're looking for stuff. It's mostly tech, like phones, software and stuff like that. And they're paying big bucks, like $500 a day, $1,500 a day for a packet. Sorry, I'm looking at it. Number 3 was eBay reselling and automation, turning stuff in your house into money. So it's already telling us that for the fan base here, that eBay reselling would be one of the ones of the 56, and that's not top on my list. That eBay selling for me is 11 on my list, and only because I've ranked it high based on minimalizing my lifestyle,
getting rid of your crap.
Yeah, so I don't like what it spit out here, so I'm just going to ignore. But I have I don't even know anymore. The economy really is getting in the way of a lot of things, and then the media. So a lot of people. I don't want to make this a political show, but the current president does loudly do a lot of stuff, and the media then loudly talks about all that stuff.
Yep.
And a lot of it's not actually getting implemented or has any effect on people's day-to-day life. It's not actually something they're doing. But when they scream about it, it does change the way people react and they make them panicky.
I mean,
what's happening is they're basically saying there's a banking crisis in the middle of a banking crisis, which creates a banking crisis. So as I'm trying to make everyday business decisions, it's becoming very difficult because they keep creating panic modes over everything. So like the other day when gas went up to like $4.25 here, all the media was talking about, oh my God, get gas because gas prices are going to go up. And so like, of course they went up because you all ran out to get gas, which drove demand up.
I mean, the same thing happened with precious metals, 5, 6, I mean, between a year to 6 months ago, they doubled in price. Gold was sitting around 2K or 2.5 or something like that last year. And then silver was, 45, 50 or so. And now it's, like I said, almost doubled on average. And largely due to the fact of, the uncertainty and instability, which is very funny. That one parallel I realized, I was like, oh, the media is doing to the things that Trump say and reading into them and freaking out the same way that I read into and freaked out about the lease. They immediately go into offense mode. They,
Well, I mean,
you know, it's the same.
I don't
It's
think
the same type of
offense
thing.
mode is necessarily bad if it's like, you know,
Directed
you're playing
properly.
it safe. Yeah, like the panic mode is different than offense mode.
No,
I
exactly,
can say
exactly.
that.
Yeah, so I was and they are in panic mode.
Yeah.
And they've convinced themselves it's offense mode. Like I had convinced myself. I was like, this is, I'm being rational. I'm being, this is something, we've thought about, blah, 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 all of this stuff. And all those thoughts cascading one onto another, just like people being like, I knew it. He was Hitler,
Well,
like he was, like I knew
here's
it.
what
It's going to
I'm
be the
trying
end
to
of the world.
understand. So I signed medical courier contracts back in October when gas was $2.75. None of the medical courier places that I work with at $4.25 will renegotiate their pricing. They still got them locked in at $2.75. So I've stopped doing work for them, but other people are continuing to work for them. So I'm like, how can it possibly go up? That's a huge difference. Just they're still getting paid the $1.20 per mile.
Yeah.
But the gas has gone up. So it's, it's like $4 here, let's just say, minus $2.75 when the contracts were signed. That's $1.45 per gallon it's increased, which should typically increase your contracts by a minimum.
Like 70 cents.
So you got $1. What did I say it went up? So you have $4 minus $2.75 is $1.25 each. So if we divide that by 0.5, it's 25. So it should go up at least 25 cents. So they should be getting paid at least, if the contract was at $1.20, their contract should be at $1.45 per mile minimum with gas surcharge contracts. And they're not going up on any of mine. And I see people continually go and do it. So when a month ago, I did Amazon Flex, and the blocks are paying $100 to $125 for 3.5 to 4 hour block, which was pretty much round trip for me at the speed that I was doing it. Those blocks have since gas has gone up continuously, and those blocks are down to $70 now. So the blocks are $30 less, but gas is up $1.25 a gallon.
And that's even with doing the waiting game and waiting for them to.
Yeah. So I'm not doing that anymore. So then,
that's insane.
So
you're getting them for like $1.30.
I was getting $2 a mile on DoorDash. So if a pickup was 10 miles away, I was only taking orders that were $20 or more, right? If it was 5 miles away, I was only taking orders that were $10 or more, right? $2 a mile is pretty good for an app that you could just turn on.
Yeah, turn on, yeah.
Now it's like $10 to drive 15 miles. So you're getting like you're not even getting $1 per mile.
So even in your area, you're seeing this.
Yeah, and I keep denying it. My acceptance rate's down under 30%. Then Instacart is putting out promos, and the promo will be like $70 for 50 orders guaranteed. But that means so if you do 15 orders in this week, just the base pay, you'll get, if it's not at least $70, we'll give you 70. But base pay has always been like $6. So
that math.
So they're basically
math doesn't math.
Yeah, the promo is why would you even go do that? Because you're going to get that anyway. So it kind of tricks people into doing low orders that you typically wouldn't get.
To just get the numbers.
To get the numbers. And so,
and you're burning gas in the meantime.
Yeah, all of that stuff has gone way down. So even Instacart has gone down. I'm not even using it anymore. I'm using some more online stuff to make money. So over on the other show, people were like kind of picking on me, but I was like, I don't understand how. I do understand that the prices are going down now because it makes a little bit more sense to me how people can afford it. But I don't understand now how drivers are still driving for them at these prices. And I've talked to a couple people on the street. So one of the reasons I like to do this stuff is I talk to the couriers that doing medical courier stuff. And most of them are like, yeah, I need money to come in. So I got to keep working. So they just keep taking the lower and lower pay and burning and grinding their car and the hours and stuff instead of doing something else. And so none of this seems sustainable to me.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, like, similar to you were in a desperation mode the other day. Are they not even recognizing that they're probably making $5 an hour?
I think that's exactly what's happening.
I did the math on this stuff that they're accepting, and it's like after taxes, wear and tear, gas, and all this stuff, they're making $5 an hour. They would be better off just going to Home Depot, going to Lowe's, going to Kroger's, going to Walmart, and getting a cashier job.
Yeah. No, that's true. Like that, because this is something that I thought about when I was when I had a real job, when I was doing pest control. I was driving around the pest control truck. I did not have to worry about my own gas, but that was something that I thought about because and honestly, one of the only reasons I stuck with that job for nearly 5 years was because I was like, I'm driving my own truck. These were the things I thought about rationally, and I was able to, because for a while, it was just grinding. All right, I'm here, I'm doing it, and then I'm fortunate enough that, my dad's a banker and my grandpa was a CPA. So I grew up with math in the house. So, they'd often be like, calculating the value of various things, whatever, and so that's what I would do. I'd be like, all right, it's still very much worth it to stay here because of the money I'm making. But then over time, blah, blah, it wasn't. But that's all to say, I feel like, because sometimes people don't do that math. They don't, especially in situations like you're talking about with you're actually driving around your own vehicle. You're not driving around a company truck that, maybe that's something that maybe especially some people that have previously done delivery jobs and stuff for other companies where they were supplied a truck, they're like, all right, this is the thing. I'm just doing it. I'm grinding. Okay, cool. I'm doing it with my own car. I'm doing it. I'm grinding. Not even thinking for a moment that, hey, all these expenses are going to pile up, and especially
new tires once a year minimum when you're delivering.
I mean, oil changes, months,
because you're grinding through miles that have to,
this isn't something, against people that use substances because, I do have a medical card, but, I do feel like sometimes if people do sometimes get stuck in that cycle of, all right, I'm doing the work, I'm doing it, and then when I get home, I'm getting it in, dude. I'm gonna crack a few open, and that's my time to chill. If I got enough money for the fucking 12 pack, then I'm good to go. And it's not a bad thing because yes, you do, if you're working all day, you do deserve to we're not but you. The body and the brain and the spirit and the soul need time to to chill. My wife every day, she especially during the summer times when she comes home from work, it's like, wow, I've been spending all day in the sun. I've got to just sit in front of a TV and chill for a second, doom scroll on some reels just to get my mind not thinking about
I'm having a hard time understanding just society in general as I go out into the world, because as gas prices go up and food prices go up, you would think that the human instinct would be, I can't so for Amazon, for example, right? When I camp, and this was there last Sunday, I just camped because I was in the area and I didn't grab a thing all day. And then I got one, they ended up giving me a block and it was like $135. Bam, I grabbed it. It took me less than an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes to to deliver all the stuff. And I was home and I ended up making like $45 an hour, almost $50 an hour. That was worth it for me with the wear and tear on the way or whatever. But I was just like, people that are taking these blocks in a daily are taking them at $70 and they're scheduling them out and they have no plan. They're like, so, but like, even so, I guess if you had an EV, then I could see how it would work. But if you even have a really good economy car, those numbers don't work with wear and tear. And the blocks go. And I see the Amazon packages being delivered. So it's like, are these people on food stamps and have another job? Like, because
Very possible.
Because here's what you know what I mean? I understand that people are foolish and they make bad decisions.
Yeah.
But when you're in a recession and things are pulling back like this, reality hits you to a point where it
get back to the basics.
Like the reality of the situation has to change. So like if you're driving every week and you never pay attention to your gas because you're bad with money, and gas goes up $1.25 and groceries go up 10%, it usually clicks in like, oh, I need to cut back or expect because I don't have any money to do this thing that I need. So reality will redirect you. So I don't understand as I go out into the world, like I said, unless these people are working these jobs at these low rates and getting assistance somewhere else.
I think maybe it's a combination of that, and then also maybe a combination of like, you know, they're also doing multiple income streams, and maybe some of them they just don't separate the expenses as much. You know, they don't itemize everything as you know, like it's how they systemize their lives isn't as systemized as yours, you know, like.
But not even that. Like I get that. Like I get when things are going well or decent.
Yeah.
Like,
but I mean, even conversely,
like Paul, for instance, picked this up and went hard, and he made like, you know, over $6,000 last month doing Walmart Spark, right?
Yeah.
And so for him, I could see how he would be like, oh, I can grab snacks here. I can just get gas. I can go drink. I can go see a movie because he's making plenty.
Because the money is there.
He doesn't need a system because there's so much excess that it's taking care of that. But if you're driving Amazon Flex day in and day out for only $70, the reality of like
your bank
natural law of making $5 an hour has to kick in because you don't have enough time to get all the resources you need to survive because your decisions are so poor.
Yeah.
Like if you make such bad decisions for long enough, you get so far down at the bottom that they kick in. And
I think
like, that's what I'm saying is
maybe they're not kicking in because they are just grinding out so many of those that it's kind of offsetting. It's offsetting it enough, you know. Maybe they're living in situations where, you know, like there's. But
like I'm talking about like, I go to the Amazon Flex station.
There's like 3 or 4 people in the house that are doing that.
I go to the Amazon Flex station, right?
Yeah.
Just from 3 to 4 a.m. And there's another one that goes at 5. There's another one that goes at 6. There's one at 7, 8, 9. There's people all there, right? There's 40 cars there, minimum, 60 maximum, right? I know they're not all doing the blocks like I'm doing them because I'm watching the $70, $60 blocks disappear. Once they take that $60 block, right, they can't take another one until 5 p.m. So if they were just doing Amazon Flex at 3 and whatever for that thing, they would be taking 2 blocks at say $70. 70 is 140, right? And depending on their route and their gas mileage, that's a minimum of a half a tank, maybe more of gas, which the current rate right now is probably like $45, right? So now they have these two routes One of them's like, because of the way that they've set it up, and they got to get back to the station and leave because that's extra money and extra time, and you're going, it's, they're back twice, and then it's sending you somewhere. So that 140 that they might make gets cut down to 100.
Yeah.
And they've spent 8 hours now. So they made $100 in 8 hours. Now they haven't eaten, they haven't paid rent, they haven't bought new tires for the car, they haven't had brakes. So I guess they could hop on DoorDash for the rest of the day.
I was going to say the other thing that might offset this is if these people have like other more normal part-time jobs, like retail or, fast food, because then they're like, all right, I'm getting my 5-6 hours in for this shift here, and, but before that, I'm okay, I'm planning the day. I'm going to pick up this, I'm going to real quick snag this $70, 3 a.m. shift, all right, that'll be perfect. Cause then I can crank this out and then I can start my shift at McDonald's, an hour later. That's another thing I was thinking about, because it is also very likely that some of these people aren't as literate in the gig driving thing itself and do see it more as, I'm going to make a little bit extra money on the side to supplement
I don't necessarily disagree with some of what you're saying, but
you also have to keep in mind that
so 70 divided by 4 is 17.50 an hour. So maybe they look at it like, oh, I only make 15 here in the 7. But what I'm trying to explain is,
I get what you're saying.
Maybe it's this outlier thing, and I'm trying to explain to you at 3, 3:15, 3:30, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., all the way until 5 p.m. at night, there's 50 drivers pulling in, grabbing money and leaving. So there's hundreds of drivers every day. So
I do think
100 drivers would have to be in these very unique situations that you're talking.
Oh, I mean, no, but I think it's probably it's probably a combination of what I was saying, the government assistance in the meantime type deal, because also, not to discriminate or whatever, but hey, what do these people look like? Are they, white New Hampshireans or
for the most part, it's a mixture. And there is people coming up from Massachusetts that do it. And obviously, like, it's the type of person that likes to take extra work. And I'm not even doing it anymore because the rates are not worth it.
Yeah. But it could also be people like me that are just getting into it, and they're like, okay, I just, and maybe don't have someone like you.
I get that you're playing devil's advocate right now, but what I'm saying is, think about the scale of people that are going in there in a day.
Well, I mean, obviously, so it's happening,
all day. I get that, but I'm saying, like, unless what you're saying is the average person, because it's a lot of people that are going through, and then there's a station like that in Hooksett. There's a state in that, and you know what I mean? And New Hampshire's got only 2 stations, but there's like 30, 40 of those stations that are running that many people through them every day in Massachusetts.
I mean, honestly, then 30 to 40 people, or 30 or whatever you said, like 40 to 60 people, honestly, isn't too high of a percentage of the population. It could be, a mix of, a certain percentage of people on government assistance that don't, people in, that are living with multiple people in the house, the kids whose their dad's like, you have to do something. If you're going to live in this house, you have to bring in some kind of income, or, people like me who rage quit their job.
There's a lot of people, though, that are going through there is what I'm saying. And that's just one station. And there's multiple stations that are doing that all day long.
Well, if we want to talk math, then we could look at the population.
I get what you're saying, but but economically, it doesn't make sense. Like, as the
and this is where we look at the bell curve of IQ.
But it just should be supply. It's reverse supply and demand. Is my my thing. Is like, why is the supply and demand changing in the opposite direction? Because, for instance, if I wanted to wake up this morning and do DoorDash, right?
Yeah.
And I did it all day, and I did it the other day, and I did it last night, and I did it last night. On a Friday night with DoorDash, I didn't even work that many hours. I did 2 hours, and it ended up being like I think 62 bucks, right? Wear and tear, way less mileage. It was more sitting around in
Sick.
in change. So what'll happen is I'll go to one pizza restaurant, and when it's there, it'll add another one before I've even delivered that. So I go right next door, right next door. So I don't even think I put maybe 30 miles on my car last night. I didn't even go through an eighth of a tank of gas, right? And that right there made as much money as a whole Amazon Flex thing with 30 to 40 stops on a thing. So
I think maybe the markets are getting more crowded on top of the fact that maybe this, I don't want to say it on this show, but maybe the industry is kind of shifting and changing due to downstream effects of both tariffs and other various factors.
There has
including
to be
people
outside force paying these people something else, is what I'm saying. Because, like, I know what you're saying. When people aren't that intelligent, they make bad decisions with money. But the reality of the situation is the hardcore economics are so far at the bottom. Yeah, like Drew's saying, the delivery market's dying. They're so far at the bottom that, like, you don't need to be intelligent. The natural law will be like, oh, I can't put gas in my car anymore.
Yeah.
Like, if you were making this bad of decisions,
I mean, so
you wouldn't be able to put gas in your car to go to the thing.
I guess my counter argument to this as well too is, like, I see 50-year-old Mexicans working at McDonald's, and I'm like, there's no way you're making enough money to pay for rent here in Colorado. There's I've scoured, there's no way you're making enough money to, like, it would have to be literally, there would have to be 10 people, like, I 5 to 8 people working these tier jobs in order for you know what I mean? And then, like,
no, I've run the numbers, and I don't know how expensive it is there. New Hampshire is pretty expensive.
It's crazy.
I ran the numbers. I could go get a minimum wage job ish in New Hampshire, like $14 to $15 an hour, 40-hour week, and I could live.
You can't here. I already did the math.
My rent is $1,600.
You would have to
a month. Yeah. Gas is $4 a gallon. I live very small though.
Yeah.
Right. But like what I'm saying with these delivery drivers is, like, when I was when I was doing the medical stuff, the gas was going up, the mileage was going up. And I was just like, okay, I've had to dip into this account over here to pay for this stuff. So this isn't even paying for itself anymore. Yeah. So I called them up. They didn't give me a raise. I got away from it. Right. And I have my stuff organized. If you're constantly losing money like that, right, you'll eventually wake up one morning and have no money for gas, which wouldn't allow you to go to Amazon to pick up the packages.
I just think it hasn't gotten to that point yet for them, because it certainly will, I think. But, like, I think, especially if the prices were better before, and, maybe these are grinders who maybe have again, I'm, speculating the mind of people I don't know, but, hey, if they were potentially good savers, maybe they do have more. They're like, all right, gas is higher now. I'm accepting that. No, I'm dipping into my savings in order to help pay for gas, and hopefully gas will go down.
All right.
Or, like you're saying, government assistance. I do think that I'm not even discounting that. I'm just, because it very well may be a case that creates the basis of the drivers that will accept the low rates, and thereby, as a downstream effect of that other people who are more desperate will also accept those lower rates, which then in turns leads to an even more solidified lower base rate.
I can run the numbers right now. I have a calculator, so
sick.
It's hold on. So 3.5 hour block plus commute Amazon. It's for $70, and I'm going to run it right here. So if you guys go to my Gumroad, I have a digital app that you can send screenshots and give it data on stuff. Now my car is not a good delivery car, so I will say that I only get like 18 miles to the gallon. So some people with a hybrid could get 50 with like a Prius. I think most people are running around 30. What are you running mileage in your car?
I think it's highway is, I want to say it's like 25 to 30, maybe like 20 to 30 general, because it has a turbo, which
So mine is saying, all right, so right now with my car, right, at the $70 for 3.5 hours, even though these are 4-hour blocks, I gave it the benefit of the doubt and said 3.5 hours. It's telling me the gross pay would be 70. I could spend up to $22 in gas at 369. It's saying if the gas was 369 here, I could spend up to 22. Now that's with my car is getting 18, so somebody could probably say, let's say 11. Maybe they only spend 11 in gas.
yeah.
Half of that.
Okay. Yeah. If your car's a little low on the.
Yeah, my thing's a little low. Oh, but I say somebody with a hybrid, they could get 50 miles an hour. But wear and tear at the government 21 cents, but now it's up to 23, right? That's still another $19 long term you're ripping off your car, right? So we can even ignore that. But technically you're only netting $29 with the wear and tear and everything after the fact, right?
I was going to say most people probably don't factor in the wear and tear number.
What I'm saying is I understand they don't, but I'm saying reality factors that in for you. You wake up one day and you don't have tires on your car anymore because you've put this damage on. Like they don't have to factor it in and be like, oh, I don't need to worry about wear and tear. Yeah, you don't have to. Reality will wear your tires down to the point where you can't deliver because you have a flat tire, or if you don't change your oil, then your car won't start. So so when you're like, oh, they don't worry about that stuff, it's like, well, it's baked into the cake. So I don't understand.
Well, it's because they just don't. I mean, they literally. Let me put it this way. At my old pest control job, okay, we had company trucks.
Yeah,
those company trucks were, to be maintained by each technician. And, if the technicians have issues, then they talk to the leads. If the leads have issues, talk to the manager.
Yeah.
That is the theory of how it's supposed to work.
Yep.
That is the ideal situation. That is the pest control version of accounting for wear and tear. The reality is that we would do the inspections at the top of each month. And then that would be when people are like, oh, I need an oil change, or, oh, I need. Also, there would be many things that were wrong with some of the trucks that I would mention to the manager, and the manager would do absolutely jack fucking shit about it. So that's the other situation. I guess what I'm getting at is that people don't, what they factor in when they're thinking about this stuff, they don't think wear and tear as a daily thing. They're like, yes, I will have to get tires eventually.
Yeah,
yes,
but
I will have to.
But that's not what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying.
You're saying that the reality will hit them because they will have to do it eventually. If they,
but this has been going on for like a while.
Mexicans can change their own oil, so that's
but I'm saying this is going on for a while now with the whole industry of like delivery services and whatever.
Yeah.
And people are complaining about it, but it's gotten real bad because now they've gotten cut back even more. And so like this was going on when gas was $2.75 and blocks were $100.
So this goes to my point. I think they're just not quite feeling it yet. You know what I mean?
Okay. And I can agree with that. But if we were to work this out numbers wise, right?
Yeah.
The pay per hour
you're
would
wrong
be
either.
820. Well, I'm just saying the numbers aren't numbering.
Yeah.
I know you're like, well, people don't worry about wear and tear. It's like, yeah, but like people don't worry about gravity, but if you jump out of a window, you still fall to the ground.
And plenty of
So it's
people
like,
jump out of windows,
oh,
and you're
I
like,
don't,
"What the fuck are you
like,
doing?" You saw
you know
the
what?
spill videos, you
Yeah,
know?
like I don't want to be like if I was going to be a complete jerk to you and be like sarcastic, like, oh, I never thought about it. I'll just stop worrying about my tires and they'll never wear.
No, 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 no. I'm not.
What I'm saying is, I understand they don't think their tires are wearing, but doesn't matter. One day they wake up and they don't have tires, so they can't go to work,
These
or they
are
don't have enough money for gas, so they can't go to work. Reality takes care of the wear and tear aspect for you.
so you know how I often speak of the benefits that Northern Europeans gained over the thousands of years by being inside of freezing environments and being forced to think about the future and being, like if you don't plan for the future, if you don't plan for these contingencies, then you will literally die.
Yep.
Meanwhile, other cultures don't have that. I think this is part of that break. Like I'm saying, I'm not saying you're wrong.
I think I have the answer. I think I just figured out the answer.
I think people like it's literally.
I think it's credit. It's got to be credit. They're putting everything.
Oh,
on
absolutely.
credit.
Oh, absolutely. I took that for granted. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
This is what I'm thinking. Now I just figured it out. It's this.
That's
Keep
absolutely
it simple, stupid.
yeah.
I think what's happening is because
100%.
foreclosures that are all-time high, bankruptcies are all-time high. I think what's happening is they're cash flowing and putting it on credit. I just figured it out. Sorry. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Let me hear. Here's my theory. Here's my theory. You have a credit card with like $5,000 on it, or 10,000, whatever they give you, and you keep putting your gas on that, and you lose money that month, but then you pay your credit card, and you pay as much as you can, but you're still carrying a balance.
Exactly.
And that's technically, say you end up negative 400 at the end of the month. You're like, oh, I only owe 400 on my credit card.
Exactly.
They're not recognizing that they lost $400 that month.
No,
they're only recognizing that they have a small credit card payment. And then the following month, they're like, oh, I owe 800, but it's a $5,000 card. I'll pay that 800 off eventually.
Yeah.
And then maybe they get taxes back, and they do, or whatever. But
that was a big thing my dad told me about growing up. He's like, don't use credit cards for things like this. He's like, you see all your friends rolling around with like new toys and new stuff. He's like, yeah. He's like, the parents are just buying those on credit usually. He's like, and then they pay off as much as. He's like, don't get stuck in this cycle of credit card debt. So I guess I forgot about, because I was taking for granted, that people use, like, because you're again with the you being smarter.
No, I'm just saying, like, I understand what you're saying, but like I've been watching this now for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, then there's no way these people are like, I know the chat's constantly like in the other show is like, Dave doesn't understand. It's like, no, I do understand that. What I'm saying is like, like you're saying, I recognize people don't put wear and tear into the picture, but it's like, it doesn't matter. Your engine will blow up and you'll have to buy a new car, or your tire will pop and you'll have to buy.
Or I'll put it this way. We're taking the VW in to get service beginning of May. I made the appointment when I thought we were going to move, but now it just needs to be serviced anyways. But I was going through and like, I was like, all right, what'll be like $100, maybe 200. No, apparently it's due for a certain VW service that costs like $600. I had no idea. The other thing is, there's sometimes a big question mark as to the cost of certain services.
Here's the other thing.
Get things tuned up. It's $100. No,
my professional oil change on my high mileage Volvo car was $135 last year. It's $225 a year later. So not only is gas up, but repairs and wear and tear are up.
Yeah, I will say
taxes are up. The price of food is up, and the price of what you're making. This is what I don't understand. If everything's inflating, wages should be inflating too. Like millionaires usually would have wheelbarrows with $1 million in it because it's not worth anything, and you go buy a cup of coffee. What I don't understand is if everything's inflating, the wages aren't even stagnant anymore. They're going down. So how can the wages not inflate and not even stay stagnant? How can the wages be going down when everything else is going up?
Economically speaking, I think
sense.
it's probably just an adjustment period, especially due to, I mean, not to get political, but you know, we are at war. So, you know, there's a certain aspect of, you know, that, again, I'm not an expert economist, but you know, the degree that, you know, certain focuses go more, especially Strait of Hormuz, you know, there's shipping fuck ups everywhere right now, you know. There's on top of,
I get what Drew's saying here. Silly day, the wages have been below. But what I'm saying
ever
is,
since we've been decoupled from precious metals,
watch in real time. So with the gig apps, you get to watch the supply and demand in real time, right? Now, here's the only other thing that I can think of is that people are so screwed at their regular jobs that more people are moving over to gig work. And now, now there's like 3 times as many people, and they, like you're saying, they're just starting and they need the extra money. So because the supply of gig workers is increased now because they're not making enough money at their normal jobs, then maybe that's pushing the wages down.
And they also have the W-2 mindset of, I just need to get the, you know, if I show them do the work and I get the work done, then I'll be a good employee, rather than having what you've discussed before about the 1099 mindset. You know, you are a contractor. They are offering you a contract. If the contract is not good enough, you do not have to accept that contract. So it's very possible, you know, some of these new people haven't made that delineation yet.
Yeah, if they're new. The only other, I mean, the credit card thing works the best because, like, reality.
It's probably a mix, but also primarily credit.
Here's the thing,
you know?
like, I know what you're like. I'm using like, the reason I'm so adamant on this is like,
you have an assumption.
Not only do I have like the economic background, I have a lot of anecdotal evidence. Like, I'm meeting people on the day to day. So when you're like telling me they don't understand, I'm like, I'm talking to real people that are like, gas is crushing me, this is crushing me, this is whatever. Well, and I'm like, well, why are you taking the rates? And they're like, well, I'll figure it out at the end of the year. It's getting kind of tight.
That was the story that made me think these people just don't get it. They don't get the big picture, though, because I recalled you telling me the story about the guy that's like, I'll figure it out at the end of the year. It's like,
actually, it doesn't matter though, because it's like, you know what I mean? Unless the argument is like, hey, if I don't believe that I would fall to my death jumping off a building, then I'll fly because I don't understand gravity. It's like, reality is reality. That's my point.
Maybe it's also because you're, you know, maybe people that do have families and stuff, they're like, yeah, that's a small part. I've got my daughter's, you know, doctor's appointment next, you know, on Tuesday. You know, I don't really have time to think about it. You know, plus I've got to pick her up every day from school for soccer.
You're making my argument for me. If they got to pick her up every day, they wouldn't have gas money to pick her up. They wouldn't have money to pay for the doctors if they're not listening to the reality of the situation.
Here's I think where you're here's where I think you are having an assumption of an extremely rational human being who's logically thinking through everything they're doing. That is
I mean, we're talking by each other.
Doing math. You're assuming people are doing math.
That's not my argument. You're missing my argument.
But
you're making my argument for me, and you don't even realize it. So here's the thing: if
you're assuming people are doing math.
No. They don't need to do math. It's baked into the cake. And you're making my argument for me. Now, instead of this woman here that's getting less money and all this stuff, now add extra bills, extra driving. So all that extra cost would make her hit reality even quicker. And I'm asking, why isn't she?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what, if they're not planning. The fact that these things are so costly that, like, if you have a doctor's appointment, how is she even paying for that doctor's appointment? My question, if she hasn't, like, because there's not enough money in these positions the way they're set up, that unless everybody literally working there is just working for money to go to the movies with their friend on Saturday.
And So I
Like
guess
they have
in
no
order to
other
get,
bills is what I'm saying. Like
in order
it
to
would
get the
be
real
like this would only work for like high school kids, or like you were saying, like 10 people sharing a house.
yeah. Like
Because
like I do see Hispanic families doing this and it being totally fine, because they've got 5 people there doing this and then also working at McDonald's at various times during the day. I can see
yeah,
that.
so
I
they're
can see
like,
that working,
you
but
only have to make like $1,000 a month and give it to me, and then I pay all the expenses or something. And they
yeah.
can work for $8, $5 an hour.
Yeah.
But
Also,
the woman that's got to work, have another job, take her kids to daycare, and pay for a doctor's bill, when she goes to go to the doctor, she'll be like, "Oh, I don't have money for that." So it's like,
I
because
mean,
it's baked into the cake, whether she thought of the planning or not, it doesn't matter. It just
here's
wouldn't
another
be
thing.
there.
I mean, it could also just be people making money on like, hey, I'm going to try to work and save up for a family vacation. I have a normal ass job that makes decent money. I just want to get an extra, $70 a day to, I make $100,000 a year at my engineering job. That's not too bad. I'll pick up $70 before, and then this will help me, this will
That
literally
I
just
don't
pay.
believe.
I don't,
Because
I don't
if
know.
you're
I'm
making
speculating.
$100 a year, you would recognize that you're making 580 an hour.
No, and
That's
that's also true, but
and
also I don't know. I've
I'm
seen some Reddit posts from people that the only reason I bring up these things is because I've seen some Reddit posts from people and that people have to literally spell out for them. You are losing money doing this. Why are you doing this? And so
I
and
understand that.
yeah,
Okay, that's not the argument I'm saying. I'm saying I've watched it for long enough that it's just gravity. Like they're losing money for on a long enough time frame that it doesn't matter if they know they're losing it. Like the reality of the situation, they should be homeless
yeah.
then.
I guess maybe at this point it is maybe
It's got to be
it
just
it
credit.
hasn't it credit and the dam hasn't fully broken yet, and it will at some point, and it will
I
at
think
some
it's got to be credit because the foreclosures and the bankruptcies are through the roof, and I've been
credit's
watching them.
also at an all-time high as well. So I think that's actually just the answer.
Yeah, because like,
I saw something recently about credit usage being at an all-time high, and I was like, well, I'm contributing to that because
well, yeah, because that makes a lot more sense to me because
that's exactly what I'm doing.
I don't really want to talk about it too much on here, but I'm setting up my life more sovereign, and I've canceled all my credit cards. So I'm not using credit anymore. I'm not doing any interest rates to them. I don't have any relationships with the banks or interest anymore that's funding the wars and stuff. And so everything that I'm doing, I have to have it in hand.
Yes.
If I'm buying something, whatever. So there's no borrowing. So it puts you in a situation where you have to plan because, like, if I do need something from my car, I have to have it. There's no borrowing it from a third.
That's probably why you're, subjectively also feeling those pressures more, because whereas other people would be like, oh, whatever, I'll just throw it on the credit card if.
Well, the credit card makes perfect sense. That kind of calms my understanding of things.
Yeah, it makes everything.
Then it makes it all worthwhile because then I understand they don't have to worry about wear and tear because the reality of the situation in the country is $38 trillion plus dollars in debt. So its reality of the situation that it's in hasn't hit them because they can always borrow more. But so they haven't hit their borrowing cap, which is hitting the ground after the gravity jump.
Which is, it hasn't hit 2008 yet.
If they didn't have credit, then my argument stands because there's no way that you can make $580 an hour in today's world for any amount of time before you recognize very quickly that you don't have enough to do any like picture this. You just went out and you worked for $580 an hour. How many months do you think it would take you to figure out that this is not enough to survive? You don't have a credit card. You only can use the money that you bring in.
Specifically because of my past
clothes.
Yeah, where I used to calculate each specific job that I did and see, if I was making a good rate per hour. I have that knowledge. So, and also, like I said, my grandpa was a CPA and possibly a Swedish autist, but he he's so numbers are always kind of bustling around. I'm not as financially good as my predecessors are, but as for what I'm doing any specific moment for a job like that, yeah, I'm calculating it. And that's why I was purely playing devil's advocate, because like I said, I fully agree with you.
No, that's not what I'm saying though. Like it's not even about like, if you plan and you understand what's going on and you defer gratification, you save,
Yeah.
then you can fix problems, right?
Yeah.
But the reason you do that is because you understand if you don't, you hit errors and problems and you can't afford stuff.
You feel
what I'm saying is like, we plan and make decisions and realize how close we are to owing money if those things don't make it. And I'm saying these people aren't, and yet they're not getting the consequences. So how are they not getting the consequences is my thing, because it's like, and so the answer is they're throwing it all on their credit cards, and they're eventually going to get the consequences is the credit cards. Because if it was just pure cash in, cash out, there's no way that these people could be doing this.
And I mean, this goes also, not to harp on this again, but when back when I was growing up, my banker dad telling me about avoiding using credit cards for everything. And it seems like, the rest of the world didn't get that lesson. And also I didn't learn that lesson very well. But, but it's creating like a more of that credit-based borrowing society in general, where, it's that's I don't go back to the concept of usury in general, but it where things aren't based off of mutually beneficial.
You can't get away from it either. I opened a new bank account for a company to just strictly use digital debit card. And it said, "Do you want a hard card?" And I said, "Yeah, if you want to send me on, go ahead." I didn't sign any reports. I didn't get any credit checks. I didn't do anything. I get the card in the mail. And so I was like, "Oh, okay." So I hooked this card up to a gas thing to get 20% off my gas per gallon. And then it doesn't come out of my debit. It doesn't come out of my thing. So I was like, "What's going on?" It's like, "Oh, it must be a delay from the gas station."
Yeah, it'll hit eventually.
So then I get a report that says, "Oh, we're going to pay your credit card today." And then I said, "What?" So they signed me up for $1,000 credit card through this bank. So I had to call them up. I was like, "I don't want a credit card. I didn't." And he's like, "Oh, you said you wanted a card." I said, "I wanted a debit card." So they said, "Oh, we'll send you out a debit card." I was like, "Well, cancel the credit card." I'm like, "Well, you can't. You could close the account, but just don't use the card." And I said, "Well, I'm not going to use the card. So just
I'm going to cut it to pieces." And
they're like, "Well, think of it like an overdraft protection." And I was like, "No, think about it like you gave it to me and I don't want it. Remove it from my account." And they wouldn't do it. So now I have
credit rape.
So I got rid of all my credit cards, got a new bank account, and they put a credit card on it that I don't want. Jesus. And I can't get rid of it. So I don't want to shut the account down. I just started this account and reattached everything to it. But it's like, you can't even get away from it. And I guess the idea is,
they offer you credit cards at every turn too, by the way,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so if somebody does fall behind, then they would be like, "Oh, I do have that credit card with $1,000 on it," and then starts charging you interest again. But I'm out of them for principled reasons.
Yeah.
And then I guess I probably clicked something where I accidentally signed up for it, or I said yes on the phone. But they didn't do a credit check. They didn't pull anything. There's no marks on my account or whatever. But I just have a MasterCard now after I just freaking
got rid of everything.
Dude, it was so hard to cancel your cards. They don't want you, and it tanks your credit when you cancel them because they get mad at you because you're not giving them any money.
Yeah, because your available credit is gone.
Yeah.
That's how the math works.
Yeah. Anyways. All right. It's 75 degrees in here. For some reason, So I'm sweating.
Damn
I'm
it.
all worked up from the economy. So let's call it a show. We kind of got off topic today, but hopefully you guys got a lot of interest. Please check out. I'm going to build some digital products. Please check that out. Please head over to Brosef's eBay store and buy stuff from him.
And hey, here's another
All the
thing.
links are in the bio.
Yeah, if you do want anything from eBay, but you also want like a lower price, hit me up. I can sell you, because this is an eBay. I can say this. I can sell you anything on eBay for cheaper if you I can sell you anything on eBay for cheaper if you message me, and then we can set up like, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, whatever. Just send me the money that way. I can ship it to you through like Pirate Ship or whatever, through non-eBay stuff, because then that helps me save on eBay fees. That helps you save money on whatever you want. And it helps me get more money and you save more money. Isn't that better for both of us? Hold on. Anyways, so also check out Losercast on Tuesdays with Leighton Radner, Tyler Yankee, and Toad, and myself on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Wait, hold on. It's 8 p.m. my time, 10 p.m. Eastern. 10 p.m. Eastern, where we pick a loser for each week, and then we talk about them, and then we roast them, and then we put a poll out, and then during the week, and then the next week we see who the winner was from the last week. Do it all over again.
Nice. Yeah, go check that out on Tuesdays. I think that's it. Now I'm a little bit calmer now. I had to use the restroom, but I think we've kind of gone off topic, back on topic today. Had a different type of show. I'm going to try to I wasn't very organized for today. I've been building a lot of stuff on Claude, and I don't think the fans are really interested in hearing about that. So that's pretty much all I did last week. So I don't have much to talk about for the gig work stuff. I haven't been really doing DoorDash. Haven't been doing Instacart. Haven't been doing Amazon Flex. I've been doing the eBay stuff and it hasn't been selling. It's crazy because I had been learning digital art, bare bones, like just messing around with it. I made some new prompts today with for the thumbnail here, and like kind of get an idea. This is like kind of look like claymation style realistic art, messing around with the depth perception or whatever compared to the other stuff that we were doing. And I had made one of the things that Claude had told me to do was to go and do like a Fiverr in an Upwork account, and then I could make money selling different digital products on there. And it was a lot of money that was telling me my skills. I think we'll end it on this. So I have a prompt below. If you guys use that prompt in ChatGPT, Claude Chat, or Gemini, or Perplexity, I would recommend Claude Chat. It'll sit you down and walk you through how to create a $1,000-ish business, digital business, online product using your skills. And then hopefully set it up to do residual and you can have conversation back and forth. I didn't believe the reason it's offense mode, I was also making myself small. Part of it was Claude and not recognizing the value of my skills. Literally this week, and I don't want to get into it on the show, some of the behind the scenes stuff, but I just jokingly threw a piece of animation up on line this past week that I was making from that stuff. And somebody reached out to me and asked me if I could make more, and they paid me a really good amount of money to do it. And Claude gave me an idea of what it would sell for on Fiverr or what it would sell on Upworks. And this was what I considered quite a bit of money. Once I got into it, Claude was correct. I should have charged more, but I had fun doing the project or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess the idea would be, so the idea would be I'm going to make some more of these digital products and prompts online where you can work with AI to like extract what you're good at. But I think a lot of us underestimate our worth. And once you start valuing your skills as unique to you and that other people can't do them, like the stuff that I find easy to do, other people, like I could never do that in my life. And so you can sell that to them, but you don't think to sell it to them because it doesn't seem sellable to you because you don't value it because it's easy for you.
Take it for granted. Yeah.
Yeah, they value it. So that prompt's there. And I'm working on another one that's going to help you build a resume out through questions. But I would recommend going through that prompt. Even those I gotta figure out because I'm giving them away for free, and I actually think I need to charge something because I think there's a psychological thing where there's a lot of valuables in that stuff, and I advertise them as community funded, meaning if you have the funds to pay for them, pay something to help other people that can't, and if you don't have the money, grab it for free. Use it, and then if it is worth it to you, come back and donate some money. And I see some people online selling what I created for $500.
What the hell?
And yeah, and so, well, here's the thing. If you get the prompt from me for free, you're like, well, Dave gave me this free prompt. I'll keep it in the background. It's whatever. I don't know.
I'll get to it at some point.
I don't know if it's going to work. Why would? But if you buy something for $500, you're invested in that $500, and you're like, man, I bought a $500 prompt. I'm going to use this. I'm going to make $1,000 a month, up to $10,000 a month. So,
well, it's like when you bought those back a few months ago, those like the TikTok courses and stuff. You're like, I'm going to sit down and watch, it's $27, it's like, it's a chunk of change, but it's not, it's not a lot, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to go through these things. And, you're actually going to, like you said, you've already invested money. And so,
I got what I paid for. The $17 course taught me nothing.
Yeah.
The $27 course was basically a bunch of affiliate links to sign me up to.
Oh my goodness.
Things. No, like if you knew nothing, if you knew absolutely nothing, then those
would be helpful.
But that's what I should have learned from those is like, I could have created these courses and sold them for $17 and $27. That's what I learned from them.
Oh,
it's like these are so basic. And all it was is the guy that sold them to me was just live all the time. And I kept seeing his ad everywhere I went. So I was like, screw it. I'll throw $17 down and try it.
And then you're like, I could have made this.
Yeah. He's like, oh, he's doing exactly what I'm doing, except he's putting it in order.
These are the voice messages I've been sending to Broseph.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. I think it's all about finding one thing that you really like. There's a study that goes on. The first show that I think that ever covered this and that I've ever saw, there's probably other ones, was Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
And then maybe Big Bang Theory kind of covered it a little bit, but like one of the signs, and I'm not saying like I'm a super high IQ, but there's a midweight zone of IQ where you're just a little bit smarter than everybody else, but you're not too smart, where you get a lot of stuff done and you make money. So like most like Hollywood celebrities that do really well aren't super intelligent because They just act like not, and I'm not saying like as a performer. I mean, like they take action
Yeah.
without overthinking it.
It's a C student hypothesis
And
that
they go through, and they go through stuff that they can do and they do it really well. But there isn't a much stuff they can do. The issue happens when you can do a lot of stuff. Like you get caught doing it all because you can do it all. And then you never hyper focus on something enough that you actually get any rewards from it. Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell you all about steppe nomads of Eurasia, but does that profit me anything? Absolutely not.
Well, I've been getting better at it because I got back on caffeine this week and it's like re-unlocked my brain. And I was like, holy crap. Like I felt like I was sleeping for 3 months.
Yeah.
And then I'm awake now, like thought wise, but also like I have all this, I'll end it. This goes back to, this is still an advertisement for the prompt, but like I have all this eBay stuff and all this Amazon stuff and all this wholesale stuff built up. And I know it makes money and I know I can put it online and sell it. But I don't wake up and like focused 110% on getting it online and selling it and like trying to sell it because I don't have a passion for it. It's strictly
it's work.
I've just created another job for myself of whatever, and I know I can do it. And I'm not saying that there's anything bad with it, but there's certain people that would be their cap. If they could figure out how to flip stuff, they would pretty much max out their abilities, and they could make, they could definitely make 10K a month on it, 5 to 10K a month on it. It's doable. And I've done it. I've made 25K a month on the Amazon stuff. And when I got there, I was not fulfilled. I didn't want to do this anymore. I was like, what am I even doing? Like I kind of solved this problem and it's not fulfilling.
Yeah.
And so now that I'm doing this again, I'm like, there's part of me that's like, just figure out what you want to do. If it's the philosophy show, just take this $9,000 worth of stuff and throw it in the fucking dumpster and do the philosophy show.
Yeah.
So that it's like the mental energy
out of
all this stuff is costing me more than I would make by the time I sell it.
That makes sense.
So I wake up in the morning and I was like, should I just throw this stuff in the fucking dumpster? I can't even sell it.
Dude, honestly, that's how I feel about like, because some of the jewelry moves, but like a lot of the clothes, man. I'm just like, it's when I was boxing everything up, I was like, damn, there's so many clothes here.
Yeah, and I was like, well, even my clothes,
away.
I was gonna go through my clothes, right?
Yeah,
and be like, okay, I'll sell these on eBay. But even that, I was like, that's a waste of my time. And no offense to anybody else, I built a lot of skills that I'm finding out are valuable.
Yeah.
And I need to figure out how to market and sell them because honestly, it would be better for me to take all this stuff that doesn't fit me anymore, bring it down to Goodwill and give it away and move on to the next project because it's giving me busy work to do that you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's one thing that they tell resellers to do. Like when you're a reseller, there's one thing that you do when you start is you drive around and you figure out when trash day is in all the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And then you find the really rich neighborhood and you drive around their neighborhood on trash day and you find stuff to resell because they will take $100 tables in electronics and stuff and put them in the trash because it's not worth their time and energy to resell them.
Yeah.
It's barely worth the time for them to have their housekeeper pay to put them on the curb to throw it away.
Yeah.
And we all have that to an extent. It's just about where we have to find that line.
Where's that line at? And you're feeling that line moving over a bit.
Yeah. So like, so that's what I'm going to do this week with my offense mode is I'm going to go through and figure out, that's my goal for the week. Go through, figure out all the projects that aren't serving me and all the stuff that's not serving me, and either do it in a day and whatever I can't finish gets thrown away, or just cut it all out and get to the number one project and just go 100% hyper focused on it. So
that sounds like a solid plan. My office mode is to focus more on the things that sell, like higher end gold jewelry and stuff like that, not, or fancy fancy costume jewelry that that will sell like that, rather than something that's just gonna sit around on the eBay store. But yeah, I'm also, speaking of going offense mode, also gonna be posting a lot more to Facebook Marketplace, gonna be just advertising more, because that's one thing that you don't think about when, just speaking of doing reselling, you've got to advertise yourself, and then yeah, going offense mode, making deals.
yeah,
More willing than ever to make a deal.
well, what it's doing for me is just creating anxiety, because like right now when we're on this show,
Yeah,
I have so much that I've put onto my plate. A lot of it I don't even need to do, that it doesn't allow me to be 100% in the stuff that I am doing. So for example, like, and we're going to end the show here. We've gone long. We should probably try to cut it back in the weekly.
yeah.
But like, I want to go through and fix all this Amazon, all this eBay stuff today. And then whenever I don't get posted, is going in the trash on Monday. Anything that I can't get up online by Monday morning is going in my dumpster. That's what I've just decided.
Damn. You heard it here first, folks. Go to hit up Dave for some cheap supplies.
Well, I've already gone to the bottom on a lot of this stuff. It's just got to go to the right place. Like, I don't want to get into it, but Amazon's just like screwing the little guy now. And it's, it's another economy thing. Basically, corporations are allowing people to sell on there, but now that they're tightening it up, they're just kicking people off the listings.
Jesus.
But they're using loopholes because they don't have any, like, there's nothing illegal about reselling. You know what I mean? But they know that Amazon's system is so bad now because it's been corrupted by AI automation in third world countries, that if they do put a claim on you, you can't get through the loop.
Yeah,
it's been created.
They're like, the company said that, so
yeah, but it's not even that. Even when it wasn't the company, like, I had an item that I was selling. My number one item was selling. It had Social Security, not Social Security, serial numbers on everything that Amazon made me pay for. So Amazon approved that these were real, made me pay $2 a pop to put these QR codes on here to prove that they were real. And then I sold thousands of them. And then one person said, I think this is fake. I want to return it. And then Amazon took the listing down and said, you need to prove these are real by getting all the paperwork from the company, from this, even their own paperwork that said they were real. And they said, nope. And they just sent it back. So it's basically like, if they want to, they can just end it for no reason at any time. And there's no way out of it. And that's back to TikTok. That's why I don't want to do the TikTok thing, because it's like, well, they promised me at 1,000 and at 5,000. So if they won't give it to me, they'll just take it away too. So if I build a community over there, I can wake up tomorrow and the community is gone.
Yeah, you don't want to follow the carrot on the stick off the friggin' cliff.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to end the show. You have anything important to say? I'm getting grumpy.
One sec. This will cheer you up a little.
I'm allergic to cats. Get away from me.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Ah!
Go away.
No, me too. I'm allergic to cats, but I love them. I have to constantly take allergy medication. But
I think it's also like 78 degrees in here for some reason now. So I'm starting to get antsy.
Ooh, all right. I'll let you go.
So.
Yeah, it is like 50 degrees here. The weather has been absolutely.
It's only 50 outside. It's just that like during the day, I got ladies that live downstairs. So
and they just blast the heat.
they blast the heat and the sun hits me up here all day.
Gotcha.
So I need to open up the windows to get it cooled out. So
I feel you.
all right, everybody, catch us next week. We're signing out. Thank you for stopping.